Hey Latoya, thank you for ordering a reading with Queen Airbender Tarot. I'm very humbled to be connecting with you right now. We're going to get started on your reading. So the way the personal readings work with me is just like the channel, only difference is you send me photos, so I go over the energy of the photos, and then, you have your own personal questions, which I will break down independently. Also, a little, something that's a little different, right? You see how the cards are right here? Just like on our channel, I always charge it on the organite pucks. And that raises the vibration of the reading because those are crystals involved. And you see, I don't, for my personal readings, I'm never on a camera because I want you to see play by play. Every card that I pull, every card that shuffle, well, not pull rather, because I never take cards, I never pull them myself. If the card doesn't pop out, I keep shuffling until it pops out. That's how you know for a fact that this is not messages that I choose. I'm unbiased in the reading. Also, I always say there's 78 cards in both of these decks of tarot, and the cards are completely upright, every single one of the cards, and I'll show you that also before I start your reading. And you see how the cards are already face down. Like I said, all the cards are up, but just so you can have added security that I'm not choosing any outcomes or any overlying and underlying energies, I always hold the deck like this. You see, I can't see anything, and then I just part it randomly, and then we'll get a different card at the bottom. And I do that with both, so you can see whatever comes out, that's what the universe wants me to speak to you about because I don't choose it. So I'm going to go over some energies that I picked up before I even started your reading. When I was meditating over your reading and then I did the shuffling, multiple times I kept getting air sign cards. And you didn't tell me your specific astrological sign. But I'm going to tell you, and that's fine, it's not a big deal. But I'm going to tell you, I keep feeling like you have some type of air sign placement in your chart, either Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, because in this specific deck, and this is your main energy deck, I got the Queen of Swords, the Six of Swords, and what was it? The Queen of Swords, Six of Swords. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the other one. But all together it was 3 sword cards, right? And that's, that's an air sign energy. And then I also picked up the message, especially with that Queen of Swords, that you're going to have to cut somebody off, or you have cut someone off. And especially, I feel like specifically that Scorpio. I'm going to tell you, I seen a Tower card. The Tower card is the card of Scorpio and also Aries. And I do feel like you had that Tower card moment, that Tower moment with that Scorpio. And then I'm going to tell you, multiple times I kept picking up energies as far as the Three of Cups. And that was connected to the Scorpio. So I feel like, there was some third party interference information, type of things going on. And then as far as the Taurus, I kept seeing cards of building together. Matter of fact, I kept seeing the High Priestess. Not the High Priestess, I'm sorry, the Empress with the Taurus. Now, first of all, the Empress is the card of Taurus. And then also the Empress, I always say, anytime you have the Empress, the Emperor is not too far behind, right? Because they're divine counterparts. So, and then I seen the Three of Pentacles right next to the Empress. And the Three of Pentacles is always about building a foundation together. I feel like this Taurus definitely wants, that foundation with you. Because I'm picking up his energy as a more positive energy than the Scorpio. But then right next to, when I seen the energies for the Scorpio, I kept seeing the Six of Cups, which means, you have this connection with the Scorpio because the two of you have history. So it's a little difficult for you to completely write him off. Nonetheless, I don't see the energy with the Scorpio being as positive as the energy with the Taurus. Okay? So that is what I'm picking up so far for the overlying energy as far as that situation goes. As far as the photos, so in the very first photo, because there's not a label to say who is who, in the photo with you with the yellow, and it's weird because they both look like the same person, so you definitely have a type if they're not the same person. But I do pick up there's a distance, because I also in this deck I seen the World card, right? So you're at a distance from one of them. One of them you are definitely at a distance from. I'm picking that up because the World card denotes traveling, distance, some type of physical separation. I'm picking that up, okay? And the picture with you wearing the yellow top and the person is in the actual picture with you, that energy, it has a fizzle to it. Like things have burnt out in that energy field between those two. Because the way I see things, I see auras. And, everyone has an aura, right? And it has like a luster to it, a shine to it. And it tells you about the vitality of the people's energy in the photo. And the photo with you and the person with the yellow, when you had the yellow shirt on and the two of you guys were together, there's not a vibrancy to that photo. If that makes sense. Like, there's, when I say a vibrancy, like, you know, if you're around somebody who makes you happy, your vibe, you can just feel that your vibe is higher, your vibration is raised. I don't pick that up in that first photo. It seems like something has fizzled out in that energy, right? Also, it's something in the eyes of the gentleman in that photo that is, I find to be untrustworthy. It's just the energy that I'm not, I can't say is of a positive or high caliber. I'm not picking it up. In the second photo with the side by side, with, it looks like you two are on like some video chat or something like that. It's a sincerity in the eyes in that photo. Very sincere, very genuine energy. I'm also picking up an energy of some past hurts with this individual, is as far as like definitely love. All in that person, all in those eyes. It literally looks like this person may have some cancer in their chart also. Moon rising or Venus placement. There's some cancer somewhere in their chart. If that's the Taurus, that Taurus has some cancer somewhere in the chart, or maybe was just raised in a single family home where he specifically was raised around a mother, because there's a feminine energy. There's a very feminine quality to that energy. If that, if that makes sense at all. Like, first of all, I don't think a lot of people know this, but fire and air signs are masculine energies, and water and earth signs are feminine energies. And being a Taurus, if that is the Taurus, in fact, that could be the energy that I pick up also. But I do also pick up a strong female figure raising that individual, because I can see it all in the auric field. Like, there's a more sentimental, emotional energy to that individual. Okay, and that is what I'm picking up for that. Also, for your energy is a little won't say scattered so much, but I feel like it's just one of those things where you kind of like, clearly you're looking for answers because you're picking up tarot, and that makes sense because it helps guide us. But it's something deeper than the questions that even you're asking right now. Like, you're asking about these two individuals, but I feel like in multiple areas of your life, you're looking for some type of clarity with things. I feel like just right now, these questions were the ones that are at the top of your mind. But there's other things that I can see it. Like, there's some type of questioning, some deep, profound questioning. I feel like almost like you don't know how to form those questions to make sure you get the clearest answers. I hope I'm making sense, because it just seems like there's something else, there's something deeper, some things that's deep that you are looking for some clarity about, but you don't know how to ask so that you can get the exact answers that you need. That's more so what I'm trying to say. And I know you know what I'm talking about when you hear that, because there's something deep, there's something deeply rooted. I can feel that you have questions about outside of this. These are surface level questions. And I'm also picking up that there's things that you are suppressing. Okay, so that's why I'm getting this like this. There's things that you are suppressing and you're keeping to yourself because you feel like other people won't understand it. And so you deal with things that are surface versus something that's deep, because I feel like you almost like you don't want to open up Pandora's box. You don't want to do that because you feel like there's something, you want to keep that to yourself because it makes you feel safe. You don't want to feel vulnerable. That's what I'm picking up. And that's definitely what I see in the photos with your energy. Definitely something to that nature. I feel like you date the same type of person. When you do date, they're literally like carbon copies of the last person. It's something in those individuals that resonates with you on a soul level. And I'm picking that up also. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to read over your questions. And then we'll go from there. So for your first question, it is of the two, Cedric Scorpio, and I think it's Muriel, the Taurus, who genuinely loves me? The second question, if Cedric returns, what is the advice as to how to handle him? And the third question is, what are the hidden things that I should know about both men, past and present? The fourth question is it meant for this new love, Muriel, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, and I to pursue marriage or long-term commitment? So, I'm going to tell you with the newer one, the Taurus, I really do feel like there's a stronger possibility of something moving forward, especially with me seeing next to all of the Pentacle cards that kept popping out here. I kept seeing the Empress. That's marriage. That's partnership. That's long-term partnership. That's companion. That's someone who's solid. Didn't pick any of that energy up with the Scorpio. In fact, with the Scorpio, I was getting a tower. I was getting third party, you know, because I kept getting the Three of Cups with his energy. And of course, the Three of Cups is not just about third party. It can also be about, celebrations, um, enjoyment, fulfillment, really enjoying each other's company. But when you have the Three of Cups right next to the tower, that's very much third party energy that I'm picking up, okay? So let's get started on your reading. And like I said, I want to show you there are absolutely no reversals. Look at that, Three of Swords, and I just said third party. And you see this was not initially at the bottom of the deck. I said that. I said that. And the very first question is about Cedric, the Scorpio. Absolutely. And the second question, the question was, if Cedric returns, what is the advice as to how to handle him? And then the first card at the bottom, and this was not originally the bottom card, it's the Three of Swords. I feel like if this, in connection with Cedric, anything that you do connecting with him I feel like it's gonna result in heartbreak. Because he's going to keep putting you in third-party situations. He's always going to entertain other people outside of this situation. And again, I'm going to tell you, if you have strong air sign placements in your chart, this is very telltale. This is Swords. This would be your energy. Very telltale. That you would be going through yet another heartbreak dealing with this individual. Okay? So I'm going to part the deck so I can show you there are no reversals in these cards. Come on now. I can't make this up. Look at that. And look what's right behind it. So the way that I do this, and I'm going to hold it just like it was. The way that I do this, when I spread the deck to show you that there are no reversals, whatever cards I can see peeking out, those are the ones we are going to address. Keep in mind, again, there are 78 cards. So whatever's peeking out, it's meant for me to show you. And what popped up right in the middle? Third party. Now I'm going to hold this down, and I'm not going to move anything out of place so we can still have the cards so we can read them. But you see third party, and look what's right behind it. A water sign. That's Scorpio. And you see how he's facing the direction of the Three of Cups. And I kept saying, I've seen this. I feel like with Cedric, he's going to keep putting you in third-party situations. And it's not going to be a celebration like what's going on. It's going to be a celebration for him. Because he feels like a king in this situation because he has multiple options. Do you see how his body language is? Very arrogant, very smug. And he's looking in the direction of these Three of Cups. And let's see what this is right here peeking up behind there. Let's see. I don't want to move anything. Yep. Multiple options. Now, I see this because Seven of Wands is about having to fight off a situation. Or, Okay, so when I'm picking up with him, you would literally be... Seven of Wands is always about a battle, some conflict. You would always be battling and in conflict with this person. Because look at it. It's coming right behind these two cards that are attached to him. You get what I mean? Like everything attached to him has conflict. And what's this right here? Because we can see this one peeking out. Yeah, it's the end of a cycle. Wheel of Fortune, it's time to move away from this situation. I see what this is right here. And I know this is attached to him. This is the Six of Cups. I see it already. It's time to move on. With the Wheel of Fortune, this is Major Arcana, which lets us know that this cycle has ended. It's time for something for you to move and go in a different direction. But let's see, I don't want to mess it up. Because I see this one right here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, look at this. You had at first, is this the one? Yeah, look at that. Conflict, constant conflict attached to him. You have the Seven of Wands, not a Nine of Wands. It's like enough is enough. But like I said, I feel like there's history between you and this individual. Because you see how he has the wands behind him in the background. Like that's all the years and all the time that the two of you may have had together. The memories. But you're still holding on to this individual to some degree. Even if you really don't feel like it, you have to be to some degree because he's part of this reading. But he's put you through a lot. Look how this person has had to go through many battles, I feel like, with this individual. What's peeking up right behind this? Like I said, Six of Cups. Because you have history with this individual. Now I want you to pay attention to this. And you do want some type of reconciliation, or you're open to some type of reconciliation, but pay attention. Look at this little cat right here. That's my, I won't say enemy in plain sight, but that's, someone right in plain sight, even though it's an animal and it's not a human like one of them. Do you see how this cat is looking at us? Is right here in the corner, hidden in plain sight, right? And it's kind of observing these two people right here, which lets me know, again, third party situation. Like, there, even if you don't know who these people are that he may be entertaining, I feel like these people know who you are. Like, they may know that you're in a relationship or dealing with this individual, but they don't care. They're still around. They're still in the picture. Still in the picture. They don't care. And again, this is attached to him. He is this Cups energy, Scorpio. Right? It's something about him that, and I remember when I said in the picture, in the eyes, right? I said it was something that was untrustworthy in the eyes. You can't see much of this cat's face, but you can see those eyes. Those eyes are observing. It's something about this person that's kind of, And I said that, I feel like I picked up that there was a sneakiness to this individual, right? There was a sneakiness to this individual. And you see how this cat is hidden in plain sight, but being sneaky. Not just being out here. Look, they got a dang on rabbit right here kicking it with them, butterflies and all this other stuff. But this is right here hidden in plain sight. There's something sneaky about this individual, and I don't feel like he can be trusted. But this is very telltale that it's time for a new cycle. First of all, the Wheel of Fortune, keyword fortune. Once you move away from this individual, that's when you're going to have fortunate events. Luck will be on your side. Positivity will be on your side. Also, Wheel of Fortune is definitely, like I said, that's about luck being on your side. I feel like luck is on your side with a lot of areas in your life. And remember I said earlier, I feel like there's something deeper that's going on that you want some truths about, but you're kind of keeping it buried to protect yourself. I feel like it's time for that stuff to become unraveled. You know what I mean? Some things were buried. It's time for those things to be unraveled. Something else is going on that you need to deal with. And then also with this Three of Swords being at the bottom of the deck, I strongly feel like with that Wheel of Fortune, it's like, okay, you're coming out of that. You're going to be coming out of that energy, because I still feel like there's some hurt, especially for this to show up at the bottom, and this wasn't initially in that position. You're going to heal from this hurt attached to this Scorpio individual, because there's definitely some emotions linked to this individual. And I know that because that Six of Cups popped up, and remember I kept talking about that Six of Cups before we even pulled cards. So you have a strong attachment to this individual, very strong attachment. For your clarifying deck at the bottom of the deck, absolutely more major arcana. You had a Temperance card of patience. Be patient, because something beautiful and more positive is on the horizon. Be patient with yourself. I also picked up that you might have some Sag in your chart too. I did, and I should have said that before this came up, because then you wouldn't believe me. But I do feel like you have some Sagittarius somewhere in your chart. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Because this is the card of Sagittarius also. But more than anything, it's like you need to have patience with yourself and your own healing. I know that because, this is the fire sign card, but you see how he's in there. He has his feet in his water, and then he's pouring out that water. Water is always talking about emotions. So you need to be patient with yourself. I feel like you feel as though you're being overly emotional. And then also, like, you feel like you overthink things, and you may. But it's just because because I'm hearing overthink things. You see how around his head it has like this little halo, like this little action lines. You feel like you're overthinking things, but that's okay. That's part of the process. That's how you heal things. That's how you resolve things within yourself, right? And that's positive, because you're working on yourself, because he's pouring from one cup to the other. So it's like at least you're pouring into those emotions. Now, also, I'm picking up, like I said, there's some deep-seated things that you're kind of holding to your chest. Wow. And as I said, holding to your chest, you see how he has this triangle right here in his chest center. I'm trying to see if you can see that. You see that? And I kid you not, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, you're holding some things to your chest, and right here where that heart chakra is, right here in his chest, is like a triangle. So something could have happened within the last 3 years, I'm hearing, because triangle has those three corners. Within the last 3 years, last 3 months, something could have really affected you, and you've really been holding it to yourself, and it's been making you very emotional. Because if you notice, he only has his foot barely on land, which means he's barely grounded, but he has one foot in that water, which means he's full of emotion. But you see how he looks unbothered. That's how I feel you are. Like, there's something deep down that's really bothering you, and some things that you're really keeping to yourself. But overall, it makes you emotional. It definitely makes you emotional. So I'm going to part the deck so that we can get additional messages. Also, look at that Sun card. And I was just talking about the sun back here in the background, right? Brighter day. Also, the Sun card is the most positive card in the whole deck of tarot. Also, I'm going to talk about the fact that, there's a baby right here on this card. Something could have happened to you as a child that you are holding in deeply too. Because I know this has nothing to do with the questions that you ask, but the sheer fact that I keep feeling the need to bring it up, there's something deep, 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 and you need to release it. Because you see how this baby looks like he's free and happy. Like once you bring it to the sun illuminates things, gives clarity to things. Once you bring this out and deal with that, you're going to be free. I'm hearing that. There's something in your childhood that really affected you. Okay. And remember I said 3 because you see how that triangle was, wow. You see how that triangle was right in that angel's chest. And I said that 1, 2, 3, 3 corners. And look at where this baby is. You got 1, 2, 3 sunflowers right here by it. Wow. Something happened. Something happened and it has to do within the childhood. It's something deep that you have buried within you. And you're suppressing, and I feel like this is being brought up in this reading because it affects how you date and how you accept love and how you deal with the way people treat you as far as love. I don't know if you were 3 years old when your father left, your father passed, or something essential happened, and it doesn't have to be when you were 3. You could have been with one of them, with this last guy for 3 years, or over the last 3 years, something happened, something in regards to the energy of 3. Okay. So again, there's no reversals. Look at that. You got the Wheel of Fortune again. This is absolutely, absolutely positive. After a time of being in a standstill with the Hangman, feeling like you were just in limbo, feeling like you didn't have any clarity about anything. This is also the card of Pisces. So that might be something that affects your reading as far as placements. Something that made you feel like you were just hanging in limbo. Again, I'm going to say something in your past. I'm picking it up. I don't know why, but with this Hangman, I'm getting something in your past. And yep. Because if you look at it, remember when we seen the Temperance card, he had this halo energy around his head? Same thing. Absolutely. Something that you are constantly thinking about from your past. And it definitely has to do with your past that has you hung up because he's hanging upside down. Hangman is you're still holding on to something, hanging on to something, right? But that's okay because right before that we have the Wheel of Fortune. Remember we seen it earlier in this deck, completely different deck. That's how you know there's going to be a fortunate change of events for you and it's going to go in your favor. Again, Major Arcana. Both of these are Major Arcana. You're right now in Hangman mode. You're holding on to things, and I feel like it's stuff that you're not even aware that you're holding on to so much because you're used to suppressing it. It's getting ready to come to the light. It is. Something that you've really been dealing with. I'm seeing that this is peeping out and I already know what this is. 8 of Wands, fast moving communication, fast moving action. Yeah. Most definitely. Fiery energy also. Like I said, I do feel like you have some Sag somewhere in your chart. Somewhere in your chart you may have some Sag. Also air sign energy. What is this peeking out? Yeah, again, Swords. Yeah, I really feel like you have some Swords energy. Now, remember earlier in this deck, the very bottom, once we parted, we had the 3 of Swords. You still got that 1, 2, 3 Swords right across the heart chakra. And then this is the 4 of Swords. So you went from the 3 to the 4. The 4 of Swords for me is always that rest, retreat, fall back card, take a break, right? And I feel like you have done that and you also need to do that. You may have felt like you've completely healed from a situation, but keep in mind, these swords are still hanging over this person's heart. And you see how it almost looks like they're praying. Like they're praying to get over this heartbreak, this sadness, this sorrow. But I always say with this card, you have one sword right up under you. Almost like you still have a little bit more fight in you. Even after going through this heartbreak, you have a little bit more fight in you. And that's positive. Because that speaks a lot about your personal strength, your personal willpower. And you're not going to be defeated. And that's why I'm telling you, you need to be patient with yourself, especially on an emotional level. Anything with water in it has to do with some type of emotion somewhere in that situation, okay? So let's part the deck so we can shuffle. 9 of Pentacles, single woman, single man card. Also, I'm going to say, okay, so again, I told you, I feel like with this earth sign, this Taurus, this would be the more positive option for you because if you really look at it, she has her back turned towards the 3 of Swords, and she's in a Pentacle energy. You can have some earth sign placements in your chart also, but more than anything, I feel like once you Dealing with the earth sign is going to help you move away from this heartbreak because her back is turned completely towards the Three of Swords. She's not even thinking about that heartbreak anymore. Right now, she's flourishing and she's happy and she's vibrant. She's in a place of happiness. Also, with the Nine of Pentacles, your finances could be on the upswing also. Just want to put that out there. Let's shuffle and get your cards. I just seen that Five of Pentacles. Somebody definitely made you feel like you were left out in the cold, abandoned. And you also could have been feeling a lack. Yeah, you keep getting this Sagittarius energy, Temperance again in reverse. And then you have the Nine of Wands. I'm sorry, the Ten of Wands, right? Fire sign energy, very strong fire sign energy. And neither one of these males are fire signs. Now, some of them can have fiery placements in their chart, but I feel like this is you. I really do feel like you have fire somewhere in your chart. With the Temperance card in reverse, you're lacking patience. Again, this is major arcana, which means this is a heavy energy. And you're needing to drop a burden, something that is heavy and burdenous to you. I always tell people, anytime I have cards and they have like moons in them, that's things hidden, things unknown, things that you don't have clarity about. So you're willingly carrying this burden because you don't know the truth about a situation. And I'm going to have to say this again. You know, you see how in the background, you see these two moose? That's background interference. And I feel like with a specific person, and I'm going to tell you, I feel like it is a Scorpio because the moon is ruled by water. Scorpio is a water sign. I feel like with the Scorpio, what you didn't know was that he was entertaining other people. I am picking it up. So be mindful of that also. Look at this, yeah. Death of the ego. Because you got the death card. Okay. Death of the ego and also the ending of the situation. The death card is Scorpio. You got it in reverse. And then you have, again, I feel strong like this is your energy. You see how the Temperance card is looking in the direction of the death card? It's like the death upright is a transitionary card. Like the ending of one thing and the beginning of another thing, a new start. Again, both of these are major arcana, so this is major. And she's looking in the direction of the death card, and it's almost like you don't want there to be a death with this individual. You never wanted this to have to end in the first place. But with this being major arcana, it had to end because something about it was not in alignment with you. Again, I feel like you could have strong fiery placement somewhere in your chart because you see how she's looking at this fire, and then you have fire in one cup and water in another. That's that Scorpio water energy. But it's in reverse. You know, and any card that's your own astrological placement card that's in reverse, that means something in your life is unbalanced. And this is the card of Scorpio, and it's in reverse, so something is unbalanced with this individual, the Scorpio. One more shuffle. Yeah, and remember I said I feel strongly like you have air sign placements in your chart also. And look at it showing up now next to the death card upright. Look at this card. Somebody who's indecisive. Now you went from the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, and now the Two of Swords. Again, this is your energy. You didn't want to see certain aspects about this individual. You were pretty defensive about it. You know, whenever people mention, if you talk to family and friends and they told you like, you know, this person isn't right, you were defensive about it. But with it coming up in reverse, it's like you found out some things about this individual that can no longer be hidden. And I know it has to do with the Scorpio because now the Scorpio card is upright. So let's get your 4 cards. So for the first question, of the two, Cedric the Scorpio or Muriel the Taurus, who genuinely loves me? Let's get your first card. Okay, you see what flipped up? You have the Chariot card, and right up under that you have the Ace of Swords. I'm going to tell you again, you got some water sign placements in your chart. Look at that. And right up under it, the Five of Cups. That water, I'm telling you, I feel literally like with this Ace of Swords, I'm going to hold this down. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to tell you, and these are the cards that came right up under the Chariot, and all of them came up right. And there are currently reversals. You have the Chariot card. I feel strongly like this is telling you you're moving forward away from this Scorpio. And I'm going to tell you this also. Remember I said with the Taurus, I pick up an energy that he may have a Cancer placement somewhere in his chart. This is also the card of Cancer. Forward movement, Major arcana. And right up under that, you have the Ace of Swords. That's a big sword able to cut off something that is not in alignment. Find out the truth about something. Five of Cups. Feeling stabbed in the back by someone. What is this other card? Whoo, look at this. Come on now. So you have literally the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Swords, sleepless nights, after finding out about some trickery, some foolishness. Look at all this sword energy. Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords. And it's all attached to a water sign. And look what I told you about this water sign. 1, 2, 3, right across from him. Three of Cups. You were possibly in a relationship with this person, or you two were talking about being in a relationship, because that's Two of Cups, that's the couple. And then you found out some things about this individual, that they were entertaining more people than just you. And look at all the cards that are attached and associated to this. I can't possibly make this up. Having sleepless nights, sorrow, sadness. And remember, we seen that Three of Swords. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 swords right at her heart chakra. She's having to hold herself because she's heartbroken about this situation. A truth came in about this individual. Look at that. Both of them are, that's agony and pain. And it's all connected to this water sign. A very big truth came in, some clarity, something came in, because you know swords is about communication, also thoughts. Then you got the Ten of Swords. And now what I want you to notice also in this card, look at that. 1, 2, 3 birds right in the sky. Birds are always messengers. You heard some messages that made you feel stabbed in the back dealing with this individual. This forward movement will be away from this Scorpio individual and towards this, I feel like the other person, definitely. Because remember, when you ask of the two people, who, neither one of them are Cancer. This is the card of Cancer, but I'm going to tell you, I remember I initially said earlier on, for the Taurus, I pick up that this individual has some Cancer somewhere in their chart. I do. I picked that up. Let's get your second card. If Cedric returns, what is the advice as to how to handle him? And that's why, like I said, I do the cards and shuffling on the camera. And I'm not on camera because I want you to see play by. Look at that. Play by play. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Ain't no going back with this one. So, you know, it says, if Cedric returns, what is the advice as to how to handle him? Look at that. Upright, like I said, the single woman, single man, and she's flourishing and she's doing well. Look at her. She's vibrant. She's happy. She's enjoying life again. And reverse is the exact opposite. All this happiness and playing with butterflies and birds and standing around her pentacles and living well because she's well dressed, which means she's doing better. You know, she's taking care of herself. She's not depressed. She's not in a gloomy state because she's well off. And reverse is the opposite. I feel like, you know, dealing with this individual, especially with your finances, also, he could affect your finances. You know, you could be better than he is as far as finances.